Hi guys, we're waiting for you, for all of you. Let's see how many of you are there already. Let's see. Let's wait a couple of minutes for the rest, since we had to change the link. Sorry for that, by the way. Hello? Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea. I'm the community builder at Startup Chile. And welcome to our first webinar. We're going to answer some questions that we received on the admissions email. We received a lot of them, so we're going to address them now. And here we have.
Hi guys, I'm Conrad. I'm operations director here at Startup Chile. And so with Andrew, we're going to answer the questions you have about the visa contract, the money that Startup Chile is giving you. So we'll try to do our best to answer all your questions. Okay. So we here have a bunch of questions you sent out to the admissions email. So we're going to get right into that, and then we're going to answer any other questions you can have, and you can post them in the chat. So if you can wait until we are done with the questions that we have, then you can post your other questions in the chat. Okay.
Okay. So regarding the visa, we have some questions such as, is it possible to add someone to the team who was not in the original application? Guys, this is not possible. We cannot modify the application. We are very strict about our policies and we cannot make any exceptions. We're very sorry for that, but we cannot modify it. Then also about the visa, we have, is support provided to assist in getting a work visa for someone who is not a member of the Chile program, but a partner of our business? Well, we need to study that case after case. All those situations that are very specific about people that are not in the program, we need to see with time and once you arrive and all. But it's all negotiable. We can see it when you guys arrive. Also, is it required to go to the consulate in person, or can you apply by mail? Each consulate has its own policies most of the times, but in our experience, most of the times you need to go in person. Everything is done in person, but we suggest that you call your consulate of choice. So you can ask them directly, but most of them, they require you to attend in person. Then we have my significant other is from another country, and we have to use that country, I mean the consulate from that country, which is different from the one that I will use. Is that a problem? Is it a problem for them to be different? And no, it's not a problem. You can just go to any consulate from the list that we gave you. It doesn't matter where you're from, you just need to choose a consulate, but remember that the form that we gave you, if you wrote one consulate there, that's the one that you need to go to in the end, and that cannot be changed. How long will the visa take to process after it is submitted to the consulate? Well, of course, each consulate, again, they all have different rhythms and different timing, but in general, we are, well, not in general, we are aware of this. So don't worry about that. All the timing is very question for us. So everything will be good for the time of your arrival. Don't worry about it. Just follow the deadlines and you'll be good. Do I need to have a return flight out of Chile for my visa application? That's something that you can.
Yeah. For applying to the visa, you don't need to have a ticket. Okay, so you can obviously I suggest that you buy the ticket as soon as possible. So that way you can get the cheapest one. But you don't have to buy a return ticket, okay, because the visa that you're going to help you to get, it's a 1-year visa. So you have a limit of time that you where you have to arrive to Chile, but after that you can leave and come back whenever you want for a year. Okay.
Again, I have a similar question from before. Can a team member be added to the Startup Chile application? No, it cannot be modified. Sorry for that, but that's my answer again. Then we have for the visa. People have asked me if they hire someone later on with time for their startups, if we can help them with their visa. Again, we need to see every case, but we are gonna study that once you're here and with time. But we need you to arrive first and start everything, and then we can talk about that. Also about the people that was in the X factory before and had a valid visa that will expire anytime soon next year. They asked me how can they extend it. They need to send an email to admission, and then I can make a letter. We sign that letter, and I can give you all the details there. So if you need to extend your visa, please send an email again to admission, and I will take care of that. And then regarding the program itself, Conrad here is gonna tell you about some details like grant or housing, etc.
So, there we have some questions. The first one is regarding the subsidy, the money, the housing budget that you have. So there are two ways to do it. If the people from every startup, if you apply to get the salary, the monthly salary for the founders, you cannot get paid for the budget, for the housing budget. Okay, if you don't get the monthly salary, if you don't apply to that, and no people in the group, in the founders group, applies to the salary, the monthly salary, then in that case you can apply and get the housing budget. Okay, which is a monthly budget. Okay, it's not weekly; it's a monthly budget. Okay, you have a top. If there's just one person in the team, one founder applied, then you have 500,000 Chilean pesos per month. Okay, if you are 2 or 3 people in the team, then you have 700,000 Chilean pesos per month. Okay, so if you want to get the salary, which is 700,000 Chilean pesos a month, then you will not be able to get the housing budget. Okay, and if you want to get the housing budget, then you will not be able to get the salary. Okay, so it's one or the other. Okay, then for how long does a participant, a team member, get the salary? So the salary is for the 6 months of the contract. Okay, and it depends if the contract expires in six months, or if you apply for an extension. But it's based on how much time the contract is for. Okay, and then which one? Okay, so talking with some of the startups that already went through the program, we found some sort of frustration regarding the expectations of how the grant money can be used. So can you provide some real world examples? So you can use the money for almost everything, okay? The startups, most of the startups are still building the products, testing, prototyping, and making maybe the first sales. So one thing that you cannot do with the money is, for instance, pay for inputs in order to that at the end of the day you're going to sell. So if you are a marketplace and you are selling babies, I don't know, products, and if you want to spend the money to buy the baby products and then sell them once again, that's not possible. You'll not be able to use the money for that. Okay, you're going to be able to use the money for paying experts and developers and any other people or outsourcing companies for developing the marketplace and finishing the product, or use it for marketing efforts, for any other costs related to developing the product. Okay, but not for working capital. Okay. That's one thing. But apart from that, well, the money you cannot use it for transportation inside a city, just for transportation between cities, or being that flights, train, buses, whatever, but not inside the cities, just from one city to another, or from one country to other. And what else? Well, it's not. You cannot use it for food, or drinks, or buying a car, for instance, buying a house, paying for your mortgage, invested in capital markets, things like those. But most of the things that you need the money, you're going to be able to do it. Okay. We have a complete list of this in terms and conditions. So if you have any questions, go back to terms and conditions, and you'll be able to talk about this specific with your account executive once you have contact with them. Okay, in the coming months, in the coming weeks. Okay. Then we have how much time should we anticipate before the first grant money is disbursed. We have heard that some that had delays as much as 2 or 3 months to receive that in Generation 16. That's not the case. Maybe that happened to 1 or 2 people. Depends on them, because we have you have to take care of a couple of steps once you arrive. First of all, you have to get here on time. On February 13th, you have to get to with your valid visa. So if you arrive with no visa, you'll not be able to participate. Okay, and if you are, then the grant is going to be delayed more than 3 months. Okay, so you have to arrive here on time, sign the documents that we give to you, provide to you right there on the spot, and get your ID process, all the process that you have to take care of during the first week with Andrea. And if you take care of all these steps, by the way, all of that is described in the handbook. In the handbook, you have an information of the contract, the insurance policy, all those things that you'll have to get done during the first 2 weeks. So if you take care of that faster, then you'll get the money in 1 to 1.5 months. So from 4 to 6 weeks, you'll get the money in the bank account, in the Chilean bank account. Okay. So you have to bring money for at least 1-2 months. Okay. So I recommend that you bring at least $2,000 to $3,000 per person at the beginning. Okay. So what is the process for being selected for pitching in Demolit? I think the question is for a long time. So you don't have to worry about that right now, but we have pitching events, and depending on your attendance to activities and the feedback that we have from the academic cities that work for you, and the metrics and development of the metrics of your startups, that's what we take in consideration to select the startups for the demo. And then in the future, can you hire people for your startup? Yes, absolutely. You can hire developers, designers, sales people, whoever you find that is necessary for developing the milestones for your startup. So are there salary restrictions to hiring people? There's no such a restriction per se, but obviously it depends on the background and the academic background of this person. So you'll have to talk about that with your academic city, okay, to decide on what's the figure and that you'll decide on. Can they be from Chile? Absolutely, they can be Chileans, foreigners. They can be here in Chile or abroad also. Okay, can they be from outside Chile? Yes, of course. That would be called outsourcing, okay, because they're not in Chile. And then another questions about it. Someone has a question about section 9.2 of the terms and conditions. It mentions that administrative staff and product development as valid cost eligible with a 700,000 weekly cap. No, I don't think that's correct. You don't have a cap for product or administrative staff. You have a monthly cap for the founders, okay, which is 700,000. Okay. Do software and design consultation costs fall under this? No. Obviously, you get software development services and design services as part of the creation cost that you have, or as human resources if you hire an employee. Okay. So next one, I hear about practical factors. No, someone has a question. Practical factors that can cause delays in receiving grants. Things most participating startups can do to move faster. Well, first of all, have a very quick and very good coordination and communication with your account executive, so he can understand what are your needs, and so that way he's aware of what they need, and also get things done on time. So you'll have to every startup that gets money in advance, okay, it has to money, okay, or spend at least the cap for the installment that we pay them in advance, and then you have to come here back to our office, to the headquarters, and submit all the files for the expenses that you had with that money. Okay. Once we approve those documents, we will pay you the next part of the money. Okay. So it depends on you. Obviously, we're going to have financial workshops to explain everything that you have to know. So I would say that at least 90% of the people doesn't have any problem at all with this. There's just a 10% that has problem with the financials because they don't care about those. If you don't care about the financials, then you'll have problems. But if you take care of business every week, about your expenses, about the documents that you need to have, which are not problematic because it's just usual documentation that you'll have if you have a business and you follow your accountability correctly. If you have those documents, you'll have no problem at all. Okay. So should we wait? No, that one, no. Okay, the next one. Okay, so if we purchase higher capacity laptops in our home country for the product purpose and submit the bill, will it be reimbursed? We run big data workloads. for development and testing purposes, as well as develop Mac apps. It will delay the progress of our product if we wait till March, April to buy these machines. You can spend the money from, when did we send the step 2? 1 week ago. So you got the second email where Andrea sent the stage step 2 email, where we actually told you from now on you can start spending the money of the grant, okay, of the subsidy. So you can start spending the money in the visa, the tickets, and all the other related expenses for getting the visa. But any other expenses that you think are necessary for the startup, you need to talk about those before with your account executive, okay? If he approves those by email, then it's okay, okay? But you need an approval from your account executive by email, okay? About those. You will talk with your account executive about any expenses that you need. It doesn't matter. I'm talking here, we have an example, but it doesn't matter what it's about. If it's outsourcing services, laptops, whatever, you'll have to talk about those specific with your account executive, okay? When is the date of the program? I need this to book a tentative return ticket. So as we told you, from February 13th, you have to count at least 7 months, okay? That's how much time it takes to go through the program, get the contract finished, and then take care of the paperwork after you finish the contract in terms of the expenses of the final meetings for submitting all the documentation, okay? And I always recommend to you to at least count at least 1-2 weeks after the end of the contract. So just count 7 months after the 13th of February, okay, at least, okay? So how many payments are made for the 12 million pesos seed grant? When is the first payment and how many in total? So the first payment should be during the first month and a half of the program after you arrived. And how many payments, that depends on the contract you have. First of all, depends if you want to get the reimbursement contract or the advance payment contract, lump sum, okay? If you want to get the money in advance, as most of you will do it, then that will be decided with your account executive when you get contact with him in the coming weeks. I think at the beginning of January. Okay, that's when you'll find out if it's going to be 2, 3, or 4 payments. Okay, it depends on the money that you have and the working capital that you use every month. Okay, how much is your burn rate? Okay, it depends on that, and we'll make a decision with you. Okay, before you arrive, so that way we can get the contract done as soon as possible. Okay.
I skipped 2 questions about the visa. Sorry, guys. One of them was, should we wait for the invitation letter for applying to visa in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website? When we applied, we received a mail to reapply with supporting documents in which the invitation letter is one. Now, to apply, the form that we sent you in step 2, you don't need the invitation letter, but we need that information so we can issue the invitation letter. Okay. So now after you complete that, there's nothing you have to do except for gathering all the documents that you need, and for that you need to call your consulate of choice. And then while you wait, we start working on the invitation letter that you will receive in the next weeks. Okay. And the last one that we got of the admissions email was, if I'm going with some people who will work part-time for my startup, but they're not members of the Chile program, are they going to be able to use a co-working space with me and participate in some lectures? Well, the priority is always for the team leader and the co-founders, but if we do have space, yes, you can use a co-working space. Just keep in mind that a lot of people use a co-working space, but also sometimes they want to work somewhere else. it's just a space for you that it's available for you as an office, let's say. But yes, the priority is always a team leader and the co-founder. That's for the questions that we received on the email. So let's see if you have some questions on the chat now. All right, let's see what questions we have.
Okay.
Number one, what are the support documents asked for on the ministry's website? That's the last step, where I also upload my photo. The documents, support documents, it should be described on the website. Usually the website has like a question site. Like if you have a question, it says like supporting documents such as blah 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 blah. And but that's for the website. Remember that the documents that you need for the consulate are usually different, and for that you need to call your consulate. Okay, all consulates have different policies. They all ask for different things. And that was Kirill Volgarov. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Alejo Miragaya is asking, is there any restriction to spend at least X% of time in Chile during the program? Given the nature of my project, I will need to travel across Latam. You can ask.
Yeah, so Alejo, basically you have to live in Chile for the 6 months program. Of course, you can have business trips, okay, but those are going to be need to be pre-approved by your account executive, okay, depending on the milestones that you want to get. Obviously, if you have to contact providers, clients, investors, then you are able to travel, but with the pre-approval of the account executive, okay. Then we have a question from Giuseppe Grilli. Yeah, well, Andrea is going to.
The question says, the ministry's website asks us for a contacto in Chile, so a Chile contact, of which I cannot find anywhere the possible information to fill the form with. Yes, this was a very common question. You can please ask that again in the admissions email, because we will give you the contact of Startup Chile. We will give you the address and the telephone number and all the information. Yeah. You can also find it on our website. Also, when can we, this is Valeria Rodriguez, when can we expect to have the invitation letter? Is it required for the, it is required for interview. Yes, it is required. Today was a deadline to fill all the forms, so now with that information, we can start issuing your invitation letters. And keep in mind, as the checklist said, this might take up to 20 days from now, because we have a limit to send to the ministry, like a limit of documents that we can send to the ministry each day. That's why it takes a while. So be patient, but all that information, guys, is in the checklist that we sent on step 2. So you can go back and read that again. We answered that. Okay, we try. Miguel Rengifo, what is the deadline to fill the consulate form website? Today. The deadline, guys, is today. Please do it ASAP. And then we have Gauda 0581 rejected my visa application due to incomplete documentation. They're asking for the letter of invitation in original, so please answer this question in webinar. I am from India. I think we replied to your email, but the thing is, you cannot go to the consulate until you have the invitation letter. Is to fill out the 2 forms that we sent on the previous email, and now you just need to wait. But while you wait, please gather all the documents that you need, all the consulate that you chose, and yes, so gather all the documents. Then we send you the invitation letter, and once you have the invitation letter, please, settle an appointment with the consulate. Um, Again, in the visa process, who is a contact person? We already answered that. Then we have Philippe Besançon. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Philippe. If the most relevant part of our project is software development through hiring a full stack developer, is that wage also limited to 700,000 a month?
Philip, I think that we already answered that question before, but no, the 700,000 a month is just for the founders, okay, of the team members who applied in the application as team members, okay, as team leader team members, okay. If you need to hire employees or outsourcing services, there's not a cap in the terms and conditions. You'll decide that with your account executive. Okay, depending on the background of this person that you want to hire. Okay.
All right. Then we have Giuseppe Billy again. The same question. Contact. We answered that. Gabriel Chiari. I don't know. Okay. Shameless plug time here. We're building a new startup community in southern Chile for budding entrepreneurs to leave at while they continue their projects. Yeah, that's not a question. Sorry. Next one. Fabiola, my passport will expire in May, so I am in the process of renewing my passport. I will be using my current passport for the application. Is that a problem? Can you explain?
Yeah. Fabiola, yeah. So that will expire in May. So you're processing the new one. So you can get the visa with the current passport that you have right now, but you have to fly. You have to travel with both passports, the new one and the one that has the visa. Okay, and you don't have to. You have to stick with the one that you have right now because that will have the visa for 1 year. Okay, you'll have to travel with both. Okay, yes. And if you have any other question, just email Andrea about those specifics.
I participated in S Factory. This is Hua Wang. I was told that we have 5 days to submit additional paperwork for expenses to our account executive. However, I was not given any days to submit additional paperwork. How do I resolve this?
Hua Wang, I don't understand what's the question. This webinar is for the visa and for the contract. If you have any other question about submitting additional paperwork, what are additional paperwork? Just email your account executive, please, because I don't understand your question. Okay, and then we have a question from Julian Maya. Can we use the money for importing electronic materials for new prototypes? Yes, you can do it. Obviously, with the approval of your account executive. Okay, once they learn what are your needs, they'll approve any purchase that is actually necessary for your startup. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Rosana Canessa. When will we know the name of our account executive? Soon, very soon. Next week. I don't have the exact date, but very soon you'll have the list. By 27th or 28th of December, you should have your account executive. And we have any Argentina living with virus. Okay, that's not for us. What time do we need to arrive at Startup Chile on February 13th? Okay, all the information, specific information about that day, you will receive in advance, of course. But yeah, just consider that day you will have to be like completely available for orientation. And yes, please try to arrive earlier. Don't try, like arrive earlier, at least 1 day before February 13th. Okay. Yeah, activities will start around 8 in the morning on February 13th. So please try to come here earlier. Also because you need to start arranging housing and all. So we don't want you to be stressed that day. Okay. Then we have DJ Profile TV question. We should invest in audiovisual equipment, and some of that equipment is not available in Chile. buying the equipment in USA qualifies as a valid expense for our account executive?
It depends. Okay, so once again, you need to wait until you know who's your account executive and ask them the same question. Okay, we cannot ask that, but cannot answer that right now. Okay, you'll have to wait a bit.
All right, Leonardo Marchant. Guys, thanks for putting this together. We have a lot of questions regarding the visa, me included. Maybe we can get back to those. It appears item 2 of step 1 visa checklist is costing travel. Can you tell me exactly what's your doubt about the visa, please? But again, I can remind you, the process is pretty much like this. You fill out the forms we sent you on step 2, both forms, Google Forms and the one from the ministry. And then with that information, we can issue the invitation letter. While we do that, you need to gather all the documents by calling your consulate and making sure that you have all the documents you need. Then we send you the invitation letter and you can get an appointment for your visa, all right? That's what you have to do now and in the future weeks. Is there an additional, this Adriana Castellanos, is there additional tax for outsourcing?
Adriana, yeah, so in wherever you are, there are taxes for outsourcing abroad, okay? Here in Chile, if you outsource in Chile, there's not a tax besides VAT, maybe in some cases, depending on the service, right? The value-added tax. But if you are here in Chile and paying an outsourcing service back in the US or in Europe or wherever, you will have to pay a tax here in Chile, okay? That tax can go from 15 to 35%, depends on the service, okay? That tax, it's not a tax to the client, it's a tax, an income tax to the company, which will never pay taxes here in Chile, so you have to pay those taxes for that, okay? But there's not additional tax per se for outsourcing, okay? Depends where the money, where the service is from, okay?
Then we have, is there some group in Facebook or Slack? Yes, it's all in our handbook. You have your handbook in the Google Drive. The Facebook group that we have, where all the Startup Chile family is called Startup Chile Participants. And there's a link in the handbook, so please read the handbook. The handbook has all the information regarding everything, like from landing and visa to account executives, insurance, everything. Philippe, again, if team members are receiving salary already, can we use the 700,000 this next to pay part of those salaries?
Yeah, Philippe. So if you already have a company, you're already paying yourself a salary, you can file those expenses as part of the subsidy, and you can get a top of 700,000. That's from total amount. Okay, it's not the net amount after. It's before taxes. Okay, 700 before taxes. Okay, so if you pay yourself 1 million, you will be able to account for 700. The other 300 are not be able to account for inside the subsidy. Okay, you will have to take care of those yourself. Okay.
All right. Again, when can we expect the invitation letter to go to the consulate? We already addressed this. Remember, it takes time. We have a limited amount of documents to send to the ministry per day to get your invitation letter. So please be patient. Starting today, we can get like 20 days or so to do so. All right, be patient, please. And that was Antonio Failas asking. Then we have Alvaro Barbosa. My question: in the terms and conditions, says that one of the executor can be substituted. How does this process work? Because in my case, he can't go to Chile.
So, in terms of conditions, say that one of the executors can be substituted. substituted. How does this process work? Because in my case, he can go to Chile. It's not a problem. If you read the terms and conditions or the applications, it says that just the team leader is the one who is mandatory. It has to mandatorily come to Chile. Okay, the other team members, the other 1 or 2 people, are not obligated to come to Chile. Just the team leader. Okay, if you want to change a team member, that will have to go through our committee internally. That takes time, a couple of months, and it could be rejected. Okay, so that doesn't depend just on us. Okay, but if your problem is that one of the team members can't come, that's not a problem. Okay, because the only one obligated to come to Chile to the program is the founder that apply as a team leader. Okay, which will be the beneficiary of the subsidy.
All right. Hi, this is Alejandro Munoz. Hi, if I am Chilean, can I travel to another country during Startup Chile Seed program just for commercial purposes related to my startup? Yeah, 2 more questions and we have to finish, guys. You can answer this question.
Alejandro Munoz. So, if I'm Chilean, can I travel to another country during the Startup Chile Seed program? Yes, obviously. As I said before, another question, you can travel for business trips, but always with the approval, the pre-approval from your account executive. Okay. So we are going to answer 2 more questions, and then you have to wait for the next webinar or the missions. Okay. So how long? eConsultar asked, how long another founders need to stay in Chile to us receive 700K per month of salary? Well, all the people that want to get the 700K per month of salary will have to incorporate, okay, in Chile, okay, with the company, and that way you can get the 700,000 per month. Okay, if you don't incorporate in Chile, you will not be able to get those 700K per month. Okay, you will just be able to get the housing budget. And the last one, we have Juan Jose Londono. So, do we need to create a legal entity for any purposes, or can we just do it as a natural person? You can do most of it as a natural person. Actually, most of you applied as a natural person, and you'll get the money as a natural person, and the beneficiary will be a natural person. But if you want to get the 700,000 monthly salary for the founders, for the team members, in that case, you have to incorporate in Chile with a legal entity, and so that way we can account for those expenses, okay, for those salaries. If you don't get the incorporation, if you don't apply with that with us, you will not be able to get that salary, okay, that monthly salary.
All right, those were the 2 last questions. We will answer the rest on the chat. But there is one thing that I want to clarify, and this is very important, guys. You're coming here with the money of our government, okay? And we expect you to be very serious about your business and your startup. We want to see progress. So questions like, can we go on vacations during the program? Guys, you're here to start something huge, something big, and we expect progress in those 6 months. You're here to work, okay? This is money from the government, and we are very strict about our policies. So please take this very seriously. You will be here to work and to make progress with your startup, okay? Well, thanks for everything. Thanks for your attention. Again, we will answer the rest of the questions on the chat. You can also email again to admission@startupchile.org. No problem with that. We receive many questions per day, and we try to answer as fast as we can. Thanks again, and I'm excited to meet you all once you are right here. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.